Gable Steveson signs with WWE. Look, I know that that's last week's news. But Gable came out just recently, and he was saying that, yes, I'm all on board. I'm going WWE. That's I love to do. Want to get into entertainment. But I do wish that Dana would have pushed a little harder. Gable didn't say a whole lot beyond this. So what do we make of that? I feel like it's pretty clear. Like that dog that's inside of Gable, that competitor, wants to keep on competing. He's forcing himself in some ways to make a professional and career-changing decision, which is to go into the WWE. I'm not sure Gable knows how good Gable is. I think that Gable's a lot more humble than perhaps you would imagine yourself to be if you were cloaked in as much success at such a young age like him, but he's still humble. Like, I think when I look at Gable and go, you still interested in the fighting thing? Where do you sit with football, right? The Vikings were thrown out there at one point. You still have an interest in that? Was that strong at all? Oh, you're going into WWE next. But that's how I would word it. Gable's 21 years old. He can do all these things. Vince didn't go tie him up for life. I believe that Gable is going to go on to hold the same belt that Brock Lesnar held, that Hulk Hogan held at one point, that The Rock held, that Austin held, the World Championship belt. I believe he's going to do that in WWE, and he's probably going to do it in absolute record time. That might be part of their goal with his character, is that he comes in and becomes the youngest champion in fill in the blanks. I only suggest that for you because what's going to seem like forever from now, he's going to be 25 years old. What's going to seem so far down the road, 4 WrestleManias later, another NCAA tournament later, a whole nother Olympic cycle later, he's 25 years old. And his options are still going to be there. And Gable is not in his prime. By the way, you get to come into your prime at one point in your life just by staying alive. It's not about how hard you worked, how smart your training was, how much your parents loved you. Part of it's just your body maturing, and you get a whole nother strength that comes in that you didn't even have to go into the weight room or drink protein to earn. You get it just by being alive. Everybody knows about the first puberty. There's another one for males when it comes to strength, where you get what we call like man strength. He's not there yet. He's got boy strength, and he's still the strongest of all the men. Gable's best days are not in front of him. That's all that I'm offering for you. It does sound like that dog's still in there. That can go away. When you have the death of a career, there's a mourning process. It would be very hard and sad. Now, Gable's going to land on his feet because he already has his marching orders. He knows what he does next. He knows after he gets his degree and gets to this NCAA tournament when he's going to report to training, which is probably going to be done in Florida, when he'll be making his on-air debut, at least roughly. Like, he has some of these things to go right into, to go nice and smooth. I would just remind Gable that he's in a very unique spot. And that if he goes over to WWE and he becomes this massive star that I think will happen in record time, he's still going to be a young guy. He could still go get that tryout with the Vikings. He could still give Dana a call. And he could do it very much in line with what one of his mentors, Brock Lesnar, did. Start with the NCAA, move over to WWE, come back into MMA. And not only would this be an option for Gable, and I feel like in some part I'm just stating the obvious, but I don't know if it's as obvious to Gable. Just listening to Gable's words, it sounds as though, no, I made my choice and here's where I'm going. And you know what choice is made anytime you're second guessing, right? You should always be second guessing. Nobody should ever have that kind of clarity. So Gable's second guessing. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is a great career opportunity, but I don't know that I want to say goodbye to competing for good. And I'm just here to remind Gable, I don't think he has to.